Today is the tale of the tape. The Ford Transit. We have finally come full circle. We've done Sprinters, we've done ProMasters, now we're doing Ford Transits, and we got two of them side by side. Exactly the same length, exactly the same height. One is a window van, one is a cargo van. Two very different uses. It's going to be a great year. Anyway, today is the tale of the tape, and I'll compare this to the Sprinter and to the ProMaster. So I think the first thing I did in the other vans is I measured the width at the floor. At the floor, this is 69.5 inches. That's usable space. Then we come up to one break in the body that is still workable, usable space. And here, we're 69.1/8. But then you come up into this window area, whether it's cargo or window van. Up here, the entire space is 76.1/8. 76.1/8. Now, obviously, you need to make room for your wall panels, a little bit of insulation, but this is a big player when it comes to east-west sleeping. This is the Sprinter. This is a 4x4 Sprinter. It's a 170-inch wheelbase. It is not the extended version, okay? Measurement-wise, the inside workable width, you see where I've got this ruler pinned out, is at 70.25 inches. 70.25. That's at this point where you would be sleeping east-west, right? So if you're 6 feet, this isn't enough. Sprinter's a dually. Okay, that means you've got 2 rear tires here and 2 rear tires here. So you got 4 tires in the back, 2 up front. You get more cargo carrying capacity. It's a smoother ride. The ProMaster just has 4 tires total, 2 and 2. So advantages, this is smoother, more cargo. You're dealing with maintaining 6 tires instead of 4 tires. So that's that. And if you don't do the valves correctly, you're going to have a hell of a time filling these tires. I don't believe in valve extensions at all. There's a company in California called Borg stainless steel tire valves. You remove the tires, you take the tire off the rim, and you replace the valves with these Borg valves. And they are custom made for these dualies, inside and outside tire. I've got them on my Pleasure Way. I love them. It makes life easy. It brings both of those valves right up and out where you have access to them. You're not reaching in anywhere. It's worth it. It's worth doing it. At the same time, if you got your rubber off, right, put a tire monitor system on the inside rather than the kind that screw on the valve on the outside. Think about that. I know they don't fail, but the centrifugal force of a tire transmitter on the outside of a valve, it's going to stress the valve. You put it on the inside, it won't stress the valve, and some of them are belted to the rim itself, in the center of the rim. So it's pricey, it takes some time. In the long run, I think it's worth it. Now, the full width on the ProMaster, down here, workable, 73.3/8. What I do, I put my walls up here, I push them out as far as I possibly can. I'm 76 and 7/8 in here. This is where I put my sleeping wall back here so I can maximize the east-west sleeping distance. So now I said 69 and something on the bottom. When you come up to this point, we start to get some taper. Now we're at 64. It's tapered, so now you're 62.5 at this point. So that makes a difference when you want to put in a refrigerator. You know, whatever that refrigerator box is, if you think it's 25 deep, don't measure 25 deep off of that corner. You got to measure 25 deep wherever, you know, if the fridge is coming up this high, it's got to come 25 off of this spot out here. Gabish? You can see what I'm talking about here with the curve of the van, the Sprinter van. Up here, I had to shortcut my rear vertical support. See, this one up front, I can carry, this is measured just so it fits underneath my ceiling I'm putting in, so I have airflow. But back here, I can't go all the way up. Obviously, the roof curves down to the side here, but the wall also curves in. Look, I'm touching the wall here, but I've got 3.5 inches behind my vertical here, and down at the bottom, I've got 3 3/4 inches. If I were able to bring this over here, okay, then I could get both of these verticals in the rear. I could push them back. I'd cut them and let them fit inside this window box. I could make up that 3 inches. The refrigerator is a big fridge, so that's an impossibility. And I need to have it up so I have room for my mechanicals underneath. If it were a different configuration, I'd be able to tuck in and grab that extra distance. But it's not, so I won't. Up here, it's 69.25. So it doesn't angle this way as much as a Sprinter does. It's a little more boxy. So there's a slight bit of taper starting to happen, 5 inches from the floor up to this point. And then way up at the top, again, I'm just measuring usable space. Come on now, get over there. 62. So you can see how the taper is starting to happen. It's very slight. It's nowhere near as dramatic as the Sprinter. I think the ProMaster is still the winner. Now, let me take a look at these ceiling struts. They're all the same. So from a high point in the floor to the ceiling strut, we are 79.5, 79 5/8. Now over on the side, let's see how much these roofs curve compared to the other vans. I think the ProMaster is pretty flat roof. This is 78.5. 78.5. So you take these measurements into account. Everybody puts their showers on the side, right? If you're tall and the shower's on the side, I ran into this problem with Sam's van. The ceiling sloped down, so he didn't have a lot of ceiling height in the shower area. It'd be great if we would put showers out in the center here. I like the idea of a rear bathroom like that one Travato has. I think it's a K, Travato K floor plan. I really like that rear bath. I've got a van coming in a year or so, a Sprinter, and the type of traveling he does, I'd like to give him a real nice big bathroom back here. Plenty of room to take a shower. Nice big bathroom, and then he can have his bed up front, a futon bed up front. All right, enough of that. Usable space. Let's go behind the wheel well. Behind the wheel well, you've got 41.5. Again, this is not the extended, but back here behind the wheel well, you've got 37 inches. For your house, you're 27 inches. Now, the distance in front of the wheel well to the A pillar, again, workable. This is where you would probably put the end of a room box or something. 79. So you're 79 inches from the front of this wheel well to the A pillar. Right? How long are these tires? Again, this is the single wheel version. You're about 35. I think all of these wheel wells in all the vans were 35, 36 inches. So there you have it. Now, overall length. Oh, did you think I was going to forget that one? Overall length, right behind the cockpit. And I'm going to take this right to the plastic. It's 160 inches. So it's it's 13 foot 4 inches. Put your focus on the 3 cockpit frames. you can clearly see the Promaster is boxy, with the least amount of curvature in the walls. The Sprinter has more of an arc in its wall than the Transit, but not by much. You can see the Transit wall is slightly flatter when compared to the Sprinter. Now look at the roofline. Although it isn't, the Promaster looks dead flat. Now look at the Sprinter roofline as compared to the Transit. The Transit has the most curvature in its roofline. Both the Transit and the Sprinter have their cargo floor flush with the cockpit floor, while the Promaster, being front-wheel drive, has a lower cargo floor and has a step down from the cockpit. As an option, the Promaster comes with a storage area above the cockpit, lovingly referred to as the pizza oven. The steep sloping cockpit ceiling in the Sprinter starts at the roof support which defines the cockpit space, just above and behind the seat backs. The Transit slope begins one support further rearward. We will probably finish this off in some fashion up here. Gave her a little short shelf up here rather than putting in one of those big deep cargo shelves. For some reason, I think it's the slope. These Ford Transits have a very steep slope coming off of this first ceiling strut. They come down fast and short. So this gets low real quick. And it's for some reason, it's not so easy to get in and out of these seats into the living space as it is in a Promaster or a Sprinter, rendering that area useless, both inside and up on the roof, where you might want to put a fan. The slope will not allow it. The Sprinter has enjoyed many different iterations of a DIY storage shelf over its cockpit. One of the most clever and affordable being the one I designed way back when I was a YouTube infant. Here's the link for that project. You're welcome.